Well, so this afternoon, the Ghana Police Service has revealed that the Fix the Country convener, Oliver Barker-Vormawor, and his allies requested to be allowed to stage a protest with private armed security men for 3 days. The service, in a statement, says this is unlawful and has the potential to result in a breach of public order and safety. Well, so what's the concern of the Ghana Police Service? You have it on your screens right now. First of all, the police is indicating in the statement that the Accra Regional Police Command on Sunday, May 29, 2020, received the notice of intent to embark on a demonstration from a group of persons, including, and there you have it, Oketiche Frefa Mensa, we have Captain Godspring Smart, then we also have Benjamin Dako and Oliver Barker-Vormawor himself, who is well famed for Fix the Country movement. Now, among other things, the group is indicating that the demonstrators intend to embark on a 3-day demonstration starting from the 4th of June, which is a very remarkable day we'll talk about later on, but also the demonstrators intend to contract a private security company to provide protection for demonstrators. But that's not all. We also know that the demonstrators are indicating that they would contract private security, and these persons will be armed with weapons as well. And then the armed demonstrators will picket the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and the Ghana Police headquarters. Now, we also know that at the GBC, they will demand to speak directly to the nation on the state broadcaster and then lay out the grievances that the group is having. And also, we know that the group, as been indicated by the police service, is requesting that that security arrangement be made available to them, regardless of whatever provisions there are in the law. So the Ghana Police Service is indicating that it wants to assure the public that the police service is ready and willing to provide necessary protection for lawful demonstration in the country. However, in this case, the service is of the view that the nature and the character of demonstration as intended is inconsistent with the Public Order Act. Well, the Fix the Country group itself has been speaking on the matter. They've been addressing the press a while ago on why they're making these demands. We can listen to that address by Oketiche, who is one of the leading figures of the Fix the Country movement.
We did not trust the police. If the police is giving us their commitment that this time around they are going to be professional, that this time around they are going to give us the best of security as demanded of them, and not be shooting us, turning the guns that is meant to protect us as against us, then maybe we can go to the round table and have a discussion again. Until then, we are going to make sure we will protect our own self. Yakasa amsa, yoko suku amsa yetungwa. What mean for biangura? What mean for bua engura? Eti ayebua paye, ade no aye twroko mom krata na ye twroko mom no. Ensem wo no mpesa Ghana fo no ombedi achi aba no. Omo cause disaffection. Munko kan kyerɛ Ghana fo no sɛ mrantia ne nya lawless. Munko kan kyerɛ Ghana fo sɛ mrantia na eku ama mu future. Munko kan kyerɛ Ghana fo sɛ nipa bɔne fo na eteso ne no ɛyɛ Machiavellian tactics. They will do anything possible to separate the Ghanaian populace from the leadership of Fix the Country, which we should not allow. Ye nyina ye mie ye ni nia ha ye ni na ye nte de ekoso na se. Medicine, I always say the reason this country is peaceful is not because we are a peaceful country. The reason this country is peaceful is not because of Christianity. The reason this country is peaceful is not because but it's simply because we do not understand what is going on around us. If we begin to understand that we vote for people to come and give us the social amenities like good roads, hospitals, but some hospital every now and then. The very moment you understand, say the entry of roads for more than 10 years is because roads when you are MPP chairman, the NDC chairman be every year be almost sponsor a year elections. We are from Betomoka. It was a road in nature. One yesika NBU. The very moment people begin to understand, say Kwame Nkrumah Nyansem were your motorway for 50 years. But some crofo buy a motorway and they say, instead see a beboka ayen yeno. They find a knee-jerk reaction to solving the problems. Sebi you say nipa ni nyati asiyese ya. Anya bro and ya babum penifone debut. So nipa ni tiasiye. And over the years, the media that is supposed to be the watchdog for the people by putting the politicians on their toes They have now become a guard dog for the politicians.
Well, excerpts of that press briefing was just done some hours ago, and that's one of the leading figures addressing the group there. But why June 4, and what's the implication for national security? Joining me now is Dr. Adam Bonai, security analyst and expert, understands what's happening across the country, and he's joining us to help us with some analysis on this. Doc, thank you for your time. So first of all, the demand for private security on the day of the demonstration, is that justified, given the accounts that we're learning from the police statement?
Well, yes. Good afternoon, blessed. It is not justified, and it cannot be justified anywhere in any country. It's not allowed to, go on a demonstration of this nature and request that because you don't trust the state security apparatus, you are going to contract your own private security and arm yourselves because you don't trust the security agencies. I find it very difficult to understand. But if you look at their demands, that has to, if you look at their demands, there are some legitimate concerns there. It is how they want to achieve it. That is a point of departure for me, and that is likely to throw this country into some, chaos. So as far as I'm concerned, the police's statement and the action the police is taking is okay for now, until such a time that they refine their proposal so that it's in tandem with the Public Order Act. I think the police should be firm and resolute and ensure that, it doesn't matter who you are. You might, if you have a legitimate concern, find a perfect way of doing it. Every country has its own peculiar and unique challenges. We are not different. And so as far as I'm concerned, I would say the police shouldn't allow them to go on such a demonstration. There are no private security companies in this country who are, Oketechie, I think, said, well, you could be armed with stones and, cudgels and, whatever, apart from firearms. But, those of us who have led demonstrations in the past will tell you that sometimes you are in front and you don't know what is going on, behind. And so they need to be very careful with their demands. I think even under South Africa, the apartheid regime, South Africans were not allowed to demonstrate with firearms and the kind of weapons they are looking for. To bring that down to Ghana, where we have been voting since 1992, to say things have gone so bad that you want to take over, you want to address the nation using GBC. What is the significance? Anyone who knows the significance of GBC will tell you, growing up, anytime you heard the national anthem played, it doesn't matter the time. We used to only have GBC. You started fearing for the West, and usually you would hear some rogue soldier telling the nation that they've taken over. Is there a declaration that they want to go and declare that they've taken over the nation? I don't know, but I think that the Fix the Country campaigners would have to come again.
I guess, Doc, that the date itself is quite remarkable. The fact that there's a lot that went on in terms of our political history. June 4, as we know it, represents something very critical, a landmark situation that happened in this country. So perhaps that could also be informing the perception that you're forming about the situation now.
Yeah, exactly. June 4th, I was there. June 4th, I was old enough to have seen June 4th and seen how many people died. Seen, what happened on that fateful day. I don't know how many of them, were born on that day. And so if they are purporting to want to celebrate June 4th, it's not a day, I would want to see, young people celebrate, because then people lost their parents. People literally just vanished under the surface of the earth in this country. And so mine is that they need to be very careful what they are calling for. Probably, I don't know, I've seen some older folks amongst them. Maybe they might have seen June 4 from another angle, but I mean, growing up in Tema, it happened right in my backyard. And so I don't know what they are calling for. And I'm expecting the security agencies to ensure that this country doesn't go back to the darkest of days that some of us found ourselves in. Anyone who is as old as I am and lived in, especially where this school started from, will tell you what we went through. So I don't think they know. And majority of probably the young Ghanaians in this country don't know how it feels when there is school. They don't know how it feels when there is political instability. They don't know. Anyone who understands these things will want to shy away from. I don't think, if you look at the recent census, it tells you that majority of them probably didn't see the coups as some of us saw it. And so
right. So you believe that this is not a good time to allow them to pour out onto the streets. But just hold on for me briefly. Okatiche himself is joining us via phone right now to explain their concerns to us. It's good to be talking to you at this time, sir. First of all, June 4, what's informing the selection of that date for your planned protest?
Thank you very much. June 4th is a day that we all can at least understand that it resonates with the people when it comes to cleansing of our democracy. Obviously, we've gotten to a point where we see that thieves have captured the state, using the power of the people to their own advantage, and for that matter, to remind us of the very things that actually led to the June 4th Revolution 1979. We needed to pick that date as a symbol that we, the youth of this nation, we are not going to sit down for certain people to use the people's power for their own advantage at the detriment of the masses. So it's just a symbol that you and I know. 1979, J.J. Rawlings got up, cleansed the system. We are not going to clean the system by using the barrel of the gun, but we simply wanted to remind ourselves of what happened due to the impunity with which the people are using the power of the people. That is why we chose the day June 4th. But unfortunately, as it stands now, it coincides with Yanananomo, the Ga Traditional Council, their ban on drums and other stuff. So they have also pleaded that if we can change the date, they are willing to support in numbers, but we should just change the date for them. So we've reconsidered that, and we will communicate that to the police by close of day today, by putting it next week on the Friday, so it does not coincide with that of the Ghana traditional leader.
Okay, that's fair enough. But then are you also backing down on your demand to have private security protection on the day of the demonstration?
You see, the whole conversation about having a private security and having arms was our best way of bringing attention to the fact that the police service, which changed from force, that is supposed to protect the people, over the period with impunity, the level of impunity with which they use the force, the power of the people to abuse the people, killing them in Ejura, killing them in Nkwanza, killing them everywhere when they are going for demonstration. So it wasn't as if we actually believed that we are supposed to carry arms or we are supposed to hire a private security. But we wanted to highlight to the public the fact that the police that is supposed to protect us for a period now are killing the very people they are supposed to protect. So if the Ghana Police Service is assuring the people that this time around people can freely go for demonstrations without being killed, without being shot at, then what would be the need for us to carry arms and also have private security? So we are saying that the Ghana Police Service, who is supposed to serve us, should stop killing innocent people when they decide to embark on demonstration. If they can give us that assurance, then we wouldn't even have a conversation about carrying arms and having private security and all that.
And some
this is a case where the Ghana Police Service actually wrote to us and told us that they cannot allow us to go for 3 days demonstration. We asked them, on the basis of what law are you saying you cannot allow us to go for 3 days demonstration? So right away, we cannot trust that the police can provide security for 3 days demonstration. They are saying they can do just 1 day. When they do the first day and they go away, who should be there to protect the citizenry? Obviously, it lies in our bosom to find security for the people that will come out in their numbers.
For instance, some experts are raising concerns already about that planned protest. Dr. Bona is still on with us, for instance. He's talking about the fact that if indeed you want to relive the moments of June 4, this should not be the way you should be marking such an event.
Well, everybody is entitled to their opinion, and I respect his opinion. Even if I don't agree with the opinion, I would defend his right to say it. What we are saying is that it is not the fact that we believe when you are going for demonstration, you must carry arms. When you are going for demonstration, you must go for private security. We believe that the Constitution has provided avenue for protection of citizenry when it comes to embarking on demonstrations. But here lies the case, we cannot trust the current police service to give us the kind of protection we want without turning the guns on us and killing us. So it was our way of drawing attention to the public that it is enough that the police will be killing citizens who are only exercising their democratic right. So if the police have gotten the attention and is telling us that they are going to protect us, then the conversation about we carrying arms and having private security doesn't even come in at all. We only wanted to highlight and draw the attention of the people to the fact that it is enough. The police can no longer turn the barrel of the gun on the people who are only exercising their democratic right.
Right. And, Okadiche, this question keeps facing you as a movement. To what end are you pursuing this Fix the Country campaign? Because for some, it appears that you've peaked in terms of your demand. The whole country knows what your concerns are. It appears that we'll just have to wait to see what the leaders will do about the need to fix the country. So what's more in this new resurgence?
I think this is an uncharted course, okay? I quite see a tearful when we were going to the farm. You get to a point, you see that there's a thick forest, but you have to create a way to get to the next stage. So that what next, sometimes I don't even understand why people ask us, as if every movement that came about has to end up forming a political party or somehow. Look, there has been so many movements across the world which never ended up in political party. So if people are asking, I understand that they sometimes want to know if we are going to form a political party. As I sit here, I do not believe that the current situation we find ourselves in as a people, with the current constitution, any political party, third force can thrive. So I don't believe in that. I believe we must change the system that will give a yet direct representation of the people the appropriate chance to represent themselves without going through this political party system. We have the proportional representation system in South Africa and other places where independent people can represent their people without going through political parties, where it is hijacked by certain cabals. So I understand when people ask to what end is Fix the Country thing going about. They want to hear whether we are going to form a political party. As it stands now, there is nothing like a political party being formed in our coffers or in our corners. We are only telling the people to fix the system that they have created that is weak, that is about to collapse. And you see, my brother, what we are doing, we are only saving a situation.
But
we are redirecting the energy of the youth towards a proper cause. Other than that, we will end up having chaos on our hands if this system breaks without any direction. That is what we're trying to do.
But some also argue that you are radicalizing the youth.
What is wrong with radicalizing? Marcus Garvey once said radical is a name given to anybody who endeavors to free the people from bondage. Jesus Christ was called radical. George Washington was called radical. Kwame Nkrumah was called radical. Robert Mugabe, Muammar Gaddafi, all these people were termed as radical. Even Nelson Mandela, who is well celebrated at some point in the history of this world, was classified as a terrorist by the United States of America. So for me, what is wrong if people say we are radicalizing? If there is nothing there for you to radicalize, you see, whatever energy we are touching on is something that is there already. If the people are angry, that is what we are exploiting. If the people are sad, that is what we are exploiting. If it is not there, we won't get any attention.
Sorry for cutting through, but that could be dangerous, particularly as the intelligence services are warning that there may be terrorist exploitation in the country. So why not tone down?
Is it more dangerous than stealing from the people lands that are meant for the next generation? Is it more dangerous than killing 9 people when we go for elections? Is it more dangerous than enacting laws anyhow to impoverish the people? For how long can we continue to sit down and pretend that what we have is what we call democracy, and for that matter, nobody should speak otherwise against it, or it will create chaos? If it will create chaos, it simply means that the people are doing something wrong and they are afraid that we will enlighten the youth to understand what is going on around them. So, obviously, when we even enlighten the youth, nothing will happen. You are not doing something right. You are impoverishing the people. You are stealing from the people, using the so-called law to protect yourself. Siphoning the people's money, siphoning the people's wealth for the past 30 years. Particularly under this government, we've never seen any corrupt government. And when you look at what is happening now, the level of impunity with which they do the things they do, then you know that 1979 people were killed for less. If you look at the impunity with which this government, particular family, that is siphoning, using their state resources, state apparatus, creating special purpose vehicles, siphoning the monies and the resources of the people, taking it away from these people onto another country, then obviously people were killed for less. So when they say we are radicalizing, what are they afraid of?
But that's hate speech. I mean, you're basically inciting the populace against a group of persons who you don't share the same belief with. But just to wrap up with you, in fact, I'll bring in Dr. Bona shortly, but just to wrap up with you, there's the concern about what would happen next Friday. You're spending 3 days on the streets? Is that what we expect?
We are spending 3 days on the street, forming a human barricade, protecting the Achimota forest, and we are sending that as a signal to those misleaders we have currently, that under no circumstance will we sit down and allow any group of people that we've given our sovereign power to use that same sovereign power to impoverish the people and steal and capture the state from the people. We will not allow that. For that, we will not allow.
I hope it will be peaceful. That's all we are praying for, I guess.
Under no circumstance are we calling for chaos. And like I said, the only reason we placed that in our statement to the police was to tell the police, Jack, and we are not afraid to say that. So if the police is saying they will protect us, we will peacefully have that demonstration for 3 days and we will go home. That is what we are saying.
Okay then. I'm grateful.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sure that you have to run for your show, but thank you for joining us. Dr. Bona is still with us. Doc, you heard the explanations from the group, the concern about how partial, quote unquote, this Ghana Police Service leadership is. It's increasingly becoming a concern for the group. Are they justified in the explanations they're giving us now?
Well, they are not justified, not at all. I mean, how justified can they be? I'm sure even under the current police dispensation, they fix the country campaigners have gone on demonstrations. Correct me if I'm wrong. How many of them were shot? How many of them were beaten with horse whips? I didn't see that. And so they are completely out of order. I mean, I probably, like I said, most of the leaders of the fixed campaign movement don't know how June 4th unfolded. I don't think they know. If they know how June 4th unfolded, and the fact that what June 4th, came, to do, literally, we didn't get that done. The country didn't, what did we achieve? Before June 4th, I mean, I grew up in Tema. We had all the factories in Tema. After June 4th, all the factories have been sold. Tell me, even in South Canary, was sold. And so for me, we have a challenge as a nation, but to any attempt to take us back to those days by people who probably didn't witness how June 4th unfolded, I find that very worrying, because then if you say you don't trust the police, therefore you are attempting to create a parallel, police organization. Which country does that? It doesn't happen anywhere. We only have one state police service or force. And therefore, whether you like it or not, that is what the law says. If it is not good, we can advocate to get it better. But this type of advocacy, where people should front the street, if you are going to have 3 days of continual demonstration, you would be impeding on my rights. The fact that you are going to go on this demonstration 3 days, I don't know which streets you are going to use, but assuming for 3 days, I have to use a certain route, and I can't use it because you are demonstrating. Don't you think I have a right to? So I think that they need to tone down, and relook at how they want to do
but I guess toning
that.
down. But Doc, I guess toning down would not necessarily lie with the leadership of Fix the Country. How about government as well? How about the intelligence agencies and also the Ghana Police Service? de-escalating by negotiating with leadership of the group. How about that option?
How do I negotiate with you when you come to me telling me this is your, if you are anyone who has done negotiations, will tell you that you would have, hard, negotiators. They come to the table, they don't really come to the table to negotiate. They come with, a position and you take it or you leave it. And so if they had gone in to say, you know what, we want to demonstrate, these are the options. But if you come in and say, we are coming in for 3 days, we are coming in with private security, as far as I'm concerned, the Ministry of the Interior is the only institution in this country that is mandated to grant private security licenses. And I am aware that they do not grant private security licenses that comes with firearms, that even comes with pepper sprays, that comes with even tasers. So if you say weapons, that is very vague. What kind of, the moment you say you are going to be armed, water can actually even be, water can be lethal.
Do you agree to that? Do you agree to that increasing suspicion that this group is gradually becoming extremist?
Oh, well, looking at, their statements and what they put out there, yes, I would want to partially agree, but it will be very difficult for Ghana to live with extremists. I have to be, looking at who we are, anyone who doesn't understand where we have come from will tell you, they should go and read history. It will be difficult to be an extremist and live in this country, because the point is that, it is easy to fish out a Ghanaian in the United Kingdom, in US and the rest. It's because of our demeanor. So any attempt to, form extremist group would be very difficult. Initially, some of us thought, the Fix the Country campaigners had a point. But where you begin to go, overboard, then it becomes worrying for us, because then, your network is actually even saying that those who want to even go on vacation to the United States of America, when you apply, you are given 2026 to come for an interview. That would not actually even guarantee you a visa to go to the United States. If you wanted to have a vacation or even medical treatment, if you wanted, or do something, education, it tells you that increasingly we need to get our country better. So a lot more of us, I would want to live here. I wouldn't want to go anywhere. So anyone who would want to take me hostage in my country, I'm sure I would have a legitimate right to fight back. And so please tell our brothers and sisters from who formed the Fix the Country campaign movement that, you know what, there are legitimate ways of doing these things. But the hard, stance they've taken would rather create more problems. You ask it, what is the way forward? Are you just going, what are you expecting? Do you want to throw the 1992 Constitution into the, toilet and flush it, excuse me to say? What do you want? What is the end game? The end game is you want to, cleansing the Ghana Police Service. Then you have to go in there and put all of them on the electric chairs, kill all of them. So 1979, I was around. I was old enough. A lot of people died. Businesses, people lost their businesses. People lost their homes. Did that cleansing this country? It didn't. So mine is that we have a constitution that is not so good, that, we can work on and make it better. We have a democracy that we are practicing. 2024, we will go to the polls. We would have to go and elect some leaders. Just recently, the MPP had their internal politics, internal elections. Some lost.
So basically, you're suggesting that if they have grievances, they should channel that through the ballot box, I guess.
Yes. If you look at, there is this young man who, one of the leaders in South Africa, can't remember his name. This young man, he has his own group.
You mean the EFL, Malema?
Malema, good. Malema has his members in parliament. They mount the podiums, they do other things, but they are also putting in, modalities, putting in measures to ensure that, they become part of the governance space of this country. What is Fix the Campaign Group want to do? If I want to join them, if I want to be a member, am I just going in and wearing red beret and red T-shirt, Fix the Country campaign, and hitting the street and demonstrating? For what? So please, I think that the security agents, the intelligence setup should be up and doing. Mine is that we are surrounded by very hostile countries. That are, when I say hostile, I don't mean the leadership of those countries. I mean countries that around the Sahel, they are getting bombed every day, people getting killed. Therefore, anything that will draw in, inspiration to get anyone to come in or people within to take advantage of us, I think they would have to be up and doing and deal with it. But as far as I'm concerned, if some of the issues they raised, for instance, he's talking about issues of corruption. Since the days of colonial era to today, there's been corruption. And so mine is that you can't say because somebody is corrupt, you are going to do the June 4th style. It's not going to work. June 4th will not happen in Ghana. So kindly let the country campaigners know that they should use legitimate, measures to do whatever demonstration. And I'm believing that the Ghana Police Service, they are supposed to protect us internally in this country. If they allow some of these things to take place, it means that they are largely going to undermine some of us, our freedom to move around freely. You can't say, I want to demonstrate 3 days in a row. I don't think it should happen. No.
I'm afraid, Dr. Bona, we'll have to end it here. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Dr. Adam Bona, security analyst, security expert as well, joining us to share his thoughts with us. Let's talk.